If you own a home in Calgary and you've been wondering whether now is actually the right time to move up, this video is for you. Here's what I see almost every week. Couples who've been thinking about moving up for a year, maybe two, and they've outgrown their place, but they keep stalling. The market feels uncertain, rates feel scary, and they're not sure if the math works. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how to actually know if you're ready, 4 signals that say go, 2 scenarios that say wait, and what the Calgary 2026 market specifically means for the move up math right now. I'm David, I'm a realtor in Calgary with CIR Realty, and I have some version of this conversation almost every week with homeowners trying to figure out if they should make a move. And the most common pattern I see is people waiting too long, and not always sometimes waiting is the right call. But often people stall on a question they could actually answer if they slowed down for 30 minutes. So I want to give you the same framework I'd walk through with you in person if you booked to sit down with me. Okay, here's 4 signals that say you're ready. Signal 1, need. There's a difference between actually outgrowing your place and just wanting a change. Outgrowing it means real friction in your life. The kids are doubling up in a bedroom and it's not working anymore. You're working from home in the dining room and your spouse is over it. You bought a starter property and 3 years in, the starter part is starting to feel like a ceiling. If the friction is real, signal 1 is a yes. If you just want to change, that's a different question. Sometimes still a valid reason to move, but it's not the same as outgrowing. Signal 2 is equity. How much equity do you actually have in your current home? Not what you bought it for, not what your neighbor just sold for, but what your home would actually clear after agent fees, lawyer, payout penalty, if any. The general rule is to move up cleanly in Calgary, you usually want to be looking at 20 to 30% of your next purchase covered by your existing equity. That gives you a real down payment on the next place, plus enough cushion for closing costs, moving, and whatever surprise pops up at inspection. If your equity is closer to 10%, you can still make it work, but the move starts feeling a lot tighter. Signal 3 is income stability. Could you carry a bigger mortgage if rates moved against you? Calgary rates are sitting in the mid 4s right now, but you should be running your numbers like rates went to 6. If your household income absorbs that without stress, signal 3 is a yes. If a 6% stress test makes you wince, slow down. Signal 4, time horizon. This is the one most people skip, and it's how long do you actually plan to be in the next place? If your honest answer is 5+ years, if your honest answer is 2 or 3 years, the math gets really tight and you might be moving sideways financially, even if the new place is bigger and nicer. So real need, real equity, stable income, real time horizon. 4 signals. If you're at 4 out of 4, you're ready. If you're at 2, you've got some homework to do before you list. Now let's talk about Calgary 2026 specifically, because the move up math depends a lot on what the market is actually doing. Here's the thing about Calgary right now, we've come off a couple years of pretty aggressive price growth. April 2026 stats from Krebs showed sales cooling, but prices holding. The benchmark home price across Calgary is sitting in the mid 500s, and detached homes are higher, condos are softer. What that means for you as a move-up buyer, if you bought a condo or a starter property 4, 5, 6 years ago, your equity has likely grown faster than the move-up gap, so the math is more favorable than it would have been pre-pandemic. But, and this is the part nobody tells you, the gap between condo and detached has widened over those years. Detached homes appreciated faster than entry-level condos in most Calgary quadrants, so even though your equity grew, the cost of the upgrade also grew. The gap is bigger than it used to be. And the other piece, the market is uneven by quadrant right now. The northeast quadrant is the softest, the southwest and inner city are tighter. So if you're moving from condo in the Beltline to detached in the southwest, you're moving from a softer side of the market into a firmer one. That can be a great move if your timing is right, or a hard one if you're trying to sell into a slow segment and buy into a fast one. The takeaway, the move up math has time to work. Closing costs, land transfer in some cases, agent fees, you need a few years of equity to build to come out ahead. Move up math works in Calgary in 2026, but is quadrant specific. And it depends on which side of the gap your current home sits on. Now let me be honest about when you should wait. 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, the math doesn't work right now. If your equity is below 10% of your next purchase, if you'd be stretching to qualify at the higher mortgage, if your existing home is in a quadrant that's actively soft and you'd be selling at the bottom of the cycle, the math is telling you something, listen to it. And sometimes the right move is to stay another year. Build more equity, watch your block more carefully, and time the move when your numbers are stronger. Scenario 2, life is too uncertain to commit. If your job situation might shift in the next 6 to 12 months, If you're considering having a kid, that changes which neighborhoods make sense. If a parent's health might pull you out of Calgary. If your target neighborhood is about to be reshaped by something specific, like a major development, a new school district, a transit change, these are reasons to pause. A move-up purchase is a 5+ year commitment. And if you're committing to a place that won't fit your life 18 months from now, you'll likely regret it. Waiting is not failing. Waiting sometimes is the smartest move you can make. 2 stories from my own book. The first, a couple who moved at the right time. They owned a starter property they'd outgrown. Their equity was solid, around 25% of what they say they wanted to land. Their income was stable. They knew they wanted to be in the new place for at least 7 to 8 years. We listed their existing home, got it firm with a strong possession date, and went shopping with a clear budget. Both transactions closed cleanly. The math worked. 2 years in, they're glad they did it. The second, a couple who stalled, and this one is more sobering. They wanted to upgrade to a specific Southwest community a few years ago. The math worked at the time, but they were nervous. Rates felt high, market felt uncertain. They decided to wait 1 more year to see what happens. That year, the Southwest community appreciated faster than their existing home. The gap that they were trying to close grew. And by the time they were ready, their equity was relatively the same, but the upgrade cost was way higher, and the math that used to work just didn't anymore. They didn't lose money, they just lost the move. They're still in the starter 2 years past when they wanted to be out. Both stories are real, and the takeaway, waiting has a cost too, sometimes a bigger one than acting. So how do you know which side you're on? Run the 4 signals against your own situation and be honest about each one. If you're at 3 out of 4, dig into the one that's a no and figure out if it's solvable. If you're at 2 out of 4, the answer is probably wait, but understand the cost of waiting too. And honestly, this is the kind of conversation worth having before making any moves. 30 minutes up front saves a lot of stress later. If you're thinking about moving up in Calgary and want an honest read on your specific situation, what your home is actually worth, what the move up gap looks like for your block, whether the timing makes sense, my DMs are always open. Instagram is also the easiest way to reach me. If this helped, subscribe. The next video on the series is going to be where Calgary move-up buyers actually land, which neighborhoods are giving the best value right now, and which ones look great on paper but don't deliver. That's coming next. I make videos specifically for Calgary buyers and sellers, and I try to make them actually useful. See you on the next one.